You were mayor for 12 years.
Well, it was supposed to be for 4 and then 8, but somehow or other the law got changed in the middle of the night. I don't know how it happened.
Oh, my God. You know exactly how it happened, yeah.
We had 12 years, yeah.
Well, you accomplished a lot.
Well, everybody said you did more in the third term than the first and the second, but that's not true. It just takes a long time to do big things, and so what we delivered in the third term was started in the first or the second term. But it just takes a long time to pass laws and fight legal challenges and build a constituency and raise the money. And in government, where they have these short terms for mayors, a lot of cities have 2-year terms. It's ridiculous because they can't get anything done.
Yeah. I mean, but in those years, you got pretty major things done. I mean, no smoking in bars and restaurants.
Nobody ever would have thought, and that spread all over Europe and Asia and Latin America. It really was amazing.
It was amazing. I didn't think that would work.
Nobody wanted a picture when I was walking down the streets anymore, but I did get a lot of one-finger waves.
Yeah, you certainly did. What do you think your greatest accomplishments were when you were mayor here?
Well, life expectancy in New York City is now 3 years greater than it was when I came into office, and 3 years greater than the national average. So if you think about it, if you have friends any place in the country and you want them to live longer, bring them to New York. I can't guarantee anyone will live 3 years longer, but if you have enough friends, it will work.
Yeah. What are your key issues now for your presidential campaign?
Well, everybody cares about public health. Everybody cares about guns. Everybody cares about homeless people in the streets. People are worried about security and internationally. But I think the thing that most people are disturbed about is the lack of consistency in Washington, the coming and going, and the lack of focusing on climate change, which could kill us all.
Yeah. What about gun control? Maybe you can talk a little bit about that.
Look, there's a federal law that says you can't buy a gun if you are a minor, have psychiatric problems, or have a criminal record. Every gun store basically follows the law. The sales on the internet and sales at gun shows aren't covered because those came after the law was written and nobody's been willing to change the law. So what we've got to do is have, for gun shows and for internet sales, the same tests as for gun stores. Can't buy a gun if you're a minor, can't buy a gun if you have psychiatric problems, can't buy a gun if you have a criminal record. And if you do that, you would save a dramatic, large number of lives. There's 20 states that have already done it. The suicide rate's a lot lower, the murder rate's a lot lower in all of those. And the trouble is the other 30 states haven't yet passed it. And so that's what you could do as president. I think you probably could force a national law. And if you did that, you would save, this year there's going to be 19,000 suicides with illegal guns and 12,000 homicides with illegal guns. And you could stop a lot of that. Only country in the world is doing it.
You're talking about public health. Any things that the number one things in your brain right now for
stopping smoking is one of them. Doing things like having smoke detectors in your apartment or house so that you get out quickly in the case of fire. Putting bars on windows if you live in a high building and you have young kids so they don't fall out. Better restaurant sanitation in the kitchens. We have in New York a sign on the window, A, B, C, or D, depending on how clean your kitchen is. That's saved a lot of lives because people don't come back with salmonella. Better traffic signs so you don't have traffic deaths. I mean, it's a whole bunch of things that contribute to making things healthier. And we, for the first time in history, people are dying from things that are under their own control. It used to be that you died from, you inherited it, you caught something, like malaria or something like that. Now it's because of behavior, and you can control these things, and just getting people to pay attention, don't be obese and don't smoke, and you'll live an awful lot longer. Just those two things would make most of the difference.
Well, before we go, what is the message that you want to send to everyone why you're running for president?
Replace Donald Trump. Pull the country together and make the country's government work. And that's what I argue I bring to the party, because In New York City, the government worked for 12 years. You can do the same thing at a national level. And we can actually implement the things that Congress keeps passing and they never fund and nobody ever does anything about it. It's time to say, no, we're going to get our lunch eaten by China and other countries around the world. Our educational system used to be in the top 10. Today it's barely in the top 50. In a world where education is going to be more important, you just cannot do this. You'll never end poverty unless you fix education. One thing we should focus on.
Michael Bloomberg, thank you so much for coming.
On and on and on. I said, and it's on and on and on.